What's up, guys, and welcome to this week's McInnes Marketing Minute. I don't know why I waved like a soldier.
Welcome back to the roof. Perfect day for this.
Welcome back to the
Soldier
beautiful roof.
Queen wave.
Yeah, Queen Wave.
That's why you did that.
That's it. That's
it's inherent.
So excuse the noise in the background, guys. Whether you love him or hate him, Trudeau is in Vancouver today.
Down at the Opus.
Literally just
The
about
group is at the end of the block.
a block that way. So we've been hearing a whole load of shouting. We don't know whether it's positive or negative, but we're just going to try and bypass that one. That's we're not even going to breach on that podcast.
No political talk here.
That's it. So today we're actually going to answer a question which one of our viewers asked, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. He asked the question, what is selling in today's market? And there's a bit of more detail that obviously we'll go into to explain this, but essentially everything is selling in today's market against popular belief. The key phrase after this is if it's priced at market value. And when we say market value, it's what someone is willing to pay in this current market. So it's not to say just one bedrooms are selling or just 3-bedroom townhouses are selling. Everything is selling across the board, providing it's adjusted to fit this current market climate in which we're in. So we've gone on both angles here. We've had a look at area wide to try and capture an area wide view. And then we've also had a look at building specific as well to narrow it down from a large perspective and also to a small perspective as well. So I think it was Mike who brought up a couple of weeks ago, thank you, Mike, that a very good point that when we go through a market correction, it tends to happen from the top downwards. So people out there who can afford a $5 million home are few and far between versus people out there who can afford a $550,000 home. So you typically find it drops like this from the luxury market all the way down to kind of the entry level market. So we're going to focus more on the entry level market right now because the same rules apply. But Mike, you got it exactly right. From the luxury down to the entry level, that's how it works. And now it's kind of enfolded everyone. The same philosophy applies to all areas of the buying spectrum. It's just easier to explain because there's more comparables, active and sold, to explain the entry-level markets, but you can apply this and should be applying this to any luxury property you're trying to sell or buy as well. So Jay, without further ado, to you.
Today we will discuss Kitsilano, the Kits one-bedroom market. As Ben said, we're picking this segment of the market because it's applicable to first-time buyers, first-time investors, people at the entry level. There's a lot more transactions happening in this level than if we picked the $4 or $5 million market. So we'll pick kits today, one bedrooms, 500 to 650 square feet only in that size range. The past 90 days of the market over the bridge there. We've got 13 sales that have taken place in kits over the last 90 days. The average price per square foot, sold price per square foot of those 13 sales is $875 a square foot. Now, that's one side of the coin. The other side, we have 19 currently active one bedrooms in kits, 500 to 650 square feet in size, currently available. Those 19 actives are sitting at $1,009 per square foot.
So they're asking for $1,009 per square foot versus what's sold, which sold for $875 per square foot. I mean, that's $134 difference per square foot, and taking an average 600 square foot home in kits, that's an additional $80,000.
So a massive disconnect.
Oh, a huge disconnect.
Market value and sellers today.
Yeah.
So that's this segment. Like Ben said, you're going to see this equation in all segments, but what is selling always trends to who's following the market value trend. And clearly, right now in kits one bedrooms in that size range, the sellers are not following the trend.
Yeah, and I mean we've picked kits, but when you have a look at any of the markets around, whether it's Yaletown, Cole Harbour, Falls Creek, Burnaby, it's exactly the same thing which has taken place throughout as well. Even when you break it down into a specific building, so we're not going to name the building, 1372 Seymour. It's the same story, just in a particular building versus in the area. So we'll ask you the question. You have a 5th floor unit, northwest facing. It's 614 square feet, parking, locker, and it sells for $635,000.
When was that?
That was at the end of March.
And that was the last sale in that range.
That was the last sale in that range. That's $1,034 a square foot.
So that is the market.
Yeah. So I'll ask you this question. So you take a buyer in to a 7th floor unit, same side of the building, northwest facing view. It's 35 square foot less, doesn't have a locker. What do you think the asking price is for that? Bearing in mind that 5th floor one sold for $635,000.
Well, less. The floor height's worth $2,500. The locker's worth $10,000 or $15,000, and the price per square foot was $35 less.
35 less. Yeah.
At what was the last sale price per foot?
$1,034.
So there's $35,000 in just the size. Let's be generous, $10,000, $45,000, including locker. We'll forget the height, so $45,000 less.
Yeah, they're asking for actually $45,000 more.
There you go. So yes,
that's exactly it, right? There's no
rhyme or reason whatsoever.
There's no rhyme or reason, which brings us to the point of, as a realtor representing you, a buyer coming through, there is no way that I can walk into that 7th floor unit and say to you, this is worth this amount of money based on this, because I have no facts other than this is just what the seller's willing to let it go for. But I mean, if you go into the place and you fall in love with it and you want to buy it, then you know that's your own prerogative, that's fine. But if I were to say to you what the market value of that is, I'd be taking $45,000 off of that price for those reasons Jay mentioned.
There's supporting,
that's where it is.
Yeah, there's got to be supporting facts either way, and there's supporting facts there that it's worth less. There's 3 subjective points on that: height, locker, and size. Those are the supporting facts of that equation. But again, if you're going in apples to apples, which I believe the second unit in that building is closer, isn't it? Apples to apples.
Yep.
And same with the price. They pick the high side. If there's no justification for the buyer's agent to come in and say, hi, my client, Mr. Buyer, this is what this is worth, other than, like you said, this is what the seller is willing to let it go at, it's just not going to happen right now.
Yeah, and I mean, if you find out that average sold price per square foot for your particular product, and it's easy to get hold of. If you're working with a realtor, they'll be able to get hold of that information.
All public information.
Yeah, exactly. It's all public information. If you're asking for a premium and a higher amount per square foot, you need to be ready to justify the why behind that. And I mean, the real why, like just turning around and saying, we're worth $30,000, $40,000 more because we put new laminate flooring in. That's okay.
That was a why possibly a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But that's when things were going the other way.
Exactly. And I don't know in what world a 600 square foot with new laminate flooring increases by $40,000.
But the market is going to be more conducive in that climate.
Yeah, you need to be justifying as to why, whether that's a building quality, some sort of amenities, whether you have an additional parking space versus this or not. Like it's all perspective, because this is all public information which everyone is going to have access to in this market, and it's super easy to get hold of. So the moment that somebody finds that you're priced $135 more, for example, per square foot in this market, they're not going to come through. They're not even going to come through and look and try and negotiate down, because at best they're going to negotiate to current market at best, when they can just go in somewhere that's a little bit more realistic. So in short, everything is selling, like we've said, provided it's in line with the current market. And those differences in figures there shows the disconnect in where a lot of sellers are right now versus where the market is right now. And I mean, that's just simple factual information that we give to, and when I say we, that we realtors should be giving to our clients as well, to kind of let them know. And when you say it kind of out loud, it almost sounds even more stupid that that's kind of taking place, right? So Nick, thank you so much for the question. Guys, thank you, of course, for reaching out and for all the support with the podcast, the videos, and the blogs. Feel free to ask your questions away. We're more than happy to answer any that you may have. We're going to enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.